to continue on this video, and I have one more video. I'm gonna try and get 7.1 done in these next two videos. So let's get started. While we've discerned the purpose of the research conducted here, the traces of that remain might afford us greater insight into what came of it. Let's take a look around for information as well as a way to the upper level. Not gonna lie, this is a little crazy. What the heck? This will probably be a Galulja thing. Or not. Anything in the journal? They're recruiting volunteers for a new experiment. I know I'm not as bright as the others, but they wouldn't laugh at me if I was stronger than them. This might be my chance. Soul transferred a few days ago. I can write. Can write good. Yes, I am good. Very good. Getting hard to control strength today. Bit off hand of feeder. Oh, bit off hand of feeder. Cannot help. So strong. Hungry. Always hungry. Cannot control. Eat. I must eat. I am eater. Must eat. Okay, so they're really like. Sweet. Verification key found. Like, I started with Viper, I enjoy, but it's a little boring. So I think I'm gonna probably keep it as Ninja. Found the key? Great, I'll call the others. It seems the key can be used to operate the lift as well. Up we go. to be similar, but this is a far cry from the temple that held Villa Garmanda. All the machinery appears to still be operational. I expect there are auxiliary systems in place to ensure the monitoring can continue even on emergencies. The warnings indicate various anomalies related to the seal's failure, most likely. For a blessing, we managed to fell the beast before it could cause harm. Right then, let's see if we can find some clues about Glulja's mother. I think I can use this terminal. Shell taught me how. There's so much data. I don't know what we should look at. Perhaps we can narrow down the search by inputting the name Teshalja. It brought up a lot of results. They all seem to say the same thing. Teshalja, Administrator of Experimental Treatments, Research Logs. This sounds good, doesn't it? Chances are the data is encrypted, and even if not, it will take considerable time to go through it all. Then let us take it with us to the back room and have Shell analyze it. Agreed. Alright, I'll transfer it to this storage device I brought. There, it's finished. Thank you so much for bringing me all the way here, everyone. If you're happy, then so am I. Besides, I was able to learn more about my brother as well. It was a fruitful adventure for both of us. Alright, drop the shoe already. I mean, granted that we did just do a gigantic fight and all, but... And here we are. The authorities will doubtless wish to be informed about the facility and its contents. But first things first, let us deliver the data to Shale. Wait a minute. I don't remember summoning a pet, but okay. I actually need to find the pet summoner. Like going to Solution 9, great, but getting to where I need to go, it's going to be a little different. Okay. Oh, that's right, I can't fly in here. I was like, I can fly. I'm like, no, I can't. Alright, let me get my new earring first. Let's see what else I can get. Who am I looking for, though? Accessories? There we go. Okay, so I need the Ring of Slaying. The Necklace of Aiming. Oh no, the earring later. I keep forgetting what I need is here. Oh boy. I have so much stuff in here that I'm just like, there's things in here I can get rid of. I think. I'm feeling a lot of it is crafting. That's Dancer. I will hold on to that because I don't know where Dancer is. I'll hold on to that. Oh boy. I've got stuff and I actually need to look at my gearing now. What's this? Oh. Oh, can I sell some of this stuff to them? Nope. Okay. There is someone around I can sell it to, I just don't know who. Alright, where are we going? Okay, Arcadian area. This one's closer. Welcome back. Galulja has already given me the storage device. There looks to be a wealth of data, all of which is encrypted, so I'll need time to process everything. In that case, Alize and I will take ourselves around the city and check on the people. Aye, their mood had us a bit worried. I don't know if there's anything we can do to help, but we'll see. Understood. I'll let you know as soon as I finish my work. Thank you. We'll see you soon. We'll see you again soon. Alice isn't wrong. The mood out there is still grim. Some of the Turali remember a time before they were dependent on the Sol system, but even they're unsettled and worrying and wondering aloud if they'll have the chance to reunite with old friends and family before they pass on. With good reason too, the journey home won't be an easy one for those who've grown old. That's why it's mostly been younger folk who have been leaving for Tyrol, ones with no elders to care for. word of that problem has reached us in Turali, or Tuliala. My brother is doing all he can to see Zaktaral Railroad restoration restored to operation so that people may come and go more freely. Unfortunately, the tracks only go as far as Vanguard, so some traveling by foot will still be necessary. Even so, the railroad would make things a sight easier. How long before it's back in service? I couldn't say. When I left for this visit, Kona seemed reluctant to make promises. But while Shell's working on the data, we could go and see the state of it for ourselves. To Shaloni Station, then. I'll make sure to keep Kona informed. Well, here we go. It's almost Shadowbringers all over again. With the railroad and a train. Alright, I'm just gonna teleport there. Like, I do love the Old West look. I kind of wish there was a little more to it. Vow of Resolve and Sapphire Destiny in the boot. What can I do for you? We're hoping for some good news about the railroad. There's an increasing number of people looking to return to Tyrol that can't make the journey on foot. I see. As it happens, the Vow of Reason is also on his way here to take stock of the situation. Is that... Scratch the on his way. It's like he's here. Oh, Aaronville, I like the look. I am not gonna do that to him. Did our little bun finally outgrow his old clothes? As the guild ship has officially approved my transition from cleaner to independent contractor, I was in need of more befitting attire. Oh, okay. You're here about the railroad too? It was in part for my sake that the original Dawn Blazer was sacrificed, so I felt it only right that I assist with its replacement. Speaking of which, I assume Lamachi has explained the growing urgency of the need. What have you to report? And I just realized we're all in a bit of a tone. Like me, Kona, and Aaronville are all in a tone of like greenish blue. Well, mostly greenish, but that teal aquamarine vibe. The new locomotive was on track for completion, but we're having difficulty pulling her into the station, in a manner of speaking. You see, when we used the Dawn Blazer to get into the dome, urgency outweighed all other considerations, but now we're back to our original problem. How to run the railroad without upsetting the inhabitants of the area. That is the Ronek. Though the Hetsado, that followed them are none too pleased about their headstone being spooked by the noise of the locomotive either. The solution I've devised to quieten the railroad should address that complaint. But the silent train presents a different danger. The Roanoke will need to be deterred from wandering across the tracks. And I suppose we can't just blow the whistle at them, or they'll panic and be put off their grazing again. Weren't the rail routes plotted to avoid the Roanoke's preferred grazing areas, though? It's odd they're getting so close in the first place. The Roanoke's grazing patterns have shifted since the tracks were laid. I am not certain why, but I intend to ask the people of the tribe for their insight. Yeah, I'm not going to even try and enunciate that name. Good lord. As a major proponent of the railroad, I have a duty to assist in this matter, and I too would hear what the Hetsato have to say about it. They are the ones most affected, after all. I believe it would be best to begin by consulting their leader, Hawata. The rest of you can accompany us to the Hetsato encampment if you like. I honestly don't know where their camp is. Vow of resolve and vow of reason, I bid you welcome to our camp. But what brings you all the way out to Mewa Hetsolan? Mewa Hetsolan. Thank you for seeing us. Our visit concerns the matter of the Zaktaral Railroad. You too have noted the Roanoke's unexpected change in behavior then. My son, Shepeta, has been looking into this matter. Shepeta? Normally we'd expect the Roanoke to keep to their favorite grounds nearby for a while yet. And despite the thorough search, I haven't found anything wrong with the quality or quantity of the grazing in Piarionan and Yawatane. Sorry. Yet they refuse to keep to their they usually would. Yet they refuse to keep where they would, instead pushing westward toward your railroad. I certainly see no cause for this unseasonable migration. Nevertheless, should they continue to move west, we will follow. As true as any true Hetsato would, I suppose. As you may have surmised, I am of Hetsato descent. My parents traveled with the Ronak as well, though I myself have no memory of the experience. I was left behind as a baby, see. During such a migration, one of many sacrifices necessitated by the nomadic lifestyle, I am forced to assume. A chance encounter with a kind Pelu merchant was the only reason I survived. Taking pity on me, he taught me this trade that I might fend for myself. I became a stallkeeper in Tuliol's market, and that is where Dawn Servant found me and adopted me. I had already been in the palace some time when Lama Chi came to join us. Like me, she'd been cast aside by her parents. I knew the pain of solitude and wanted to spare her that suffering. As this tiny child's new brother, I swore I would always be there for her. Truly, I've never heard of the Ronik choosing a path so arduous as to force such a terrible decision, nor of any head sorrow willingly leaving their own flesh and blood behind. There must have been some exceptional circumstance. I cannot say. The idea of following in their footsteps that I might better make excuses for their actions never much appealed to me. As is so often the case, you are correct. Though my discomfort with the Hetsaru way may arise from fear of reopening old wounds rather than blind fervor for innovation, it would nevertheless see me repeat past mistakes, and to refuse to learn one of our country's treasured traditions would make me a poor Dawn servant indeed. Please teach me of the Ronak and what they mean to you. I promise to listen with an open mind. We would be delighted. In the meantime, your companions are welcome to look around. Will you learn of the Hetsaru culture with me? I should like to approach this with the fervent curiosity that you and my sister share, but it would be most useful to know where I am, or doing it correctly. Oh my god, I got something in my throat. Then it's settled. You'll learn more of the Ronak, and we'll have a look around the plains, and perhaps in the process, we'll find the answers we seek. The quickest way to learn about our way of life is to do as we do. I hope you're not above manual labor. I am not the most experienced. I'm ashamed to admit, but I shall put forth every effort. That's all we ask. Take these tools. Now introduce yourself to anyone who looks busy and ask if you can help. They'll be happy to teach you what to do in exchange for another pair of hands to do it. Let's meet back here later to share what we've learned. Why do I feel like I was supposed to stop before this mission? Nope, this is the mission, okay. I'm afraid I finished with my task for the time being, but since you are eager to learn the way of our life, why don't I tell you a bit about our migration customs? If you're here, you likely already know that the Ronek are our Hetso, our guides, that we travel with through the turning of the seasons. We trust them to lead us to fertile lands with all we need to survive. But you may not know that sometimes the herd splits into two, bound for different paths. On those occasions, we Hetsaro must also part with half our number. You may think it strange and stressful custom, but over the years it has seen us visit new lands and broaden our horizons as a people. This too is the wisdom of the Hetso. Okay, so I have a feeling that's what happened to Kona. This one's fur is a bit overgrown, but a good brushing should thin it out. Would you like to give it a try? You'll need the right tool for the job. Mind you, a comb of the type you're used to get you're used to would get lost in the tangle like as not. Wow, words were hard. Shepetto sent the Ronak brush with you, did he? How like him. Now just run it through one patch at a time, gently. Well done. With less excess fur, our friend here will be more comfortable in the afternoon heat and less susceptible to illness. A combed coat also makes it easier for us to identify injuries should the need arise. Wait, where are we going? This won't do. The wind will go right through it, and me without my needle and sinew. So Shepetto knew exactly what was going on around the location. Makes sense. Around the camp. Oh, these are precisely what I need. I should be able to patch up the covering now. Given how often we pack and reassemble our tents, they're bound to get an occasional tear. Fortunately, the Ronek hide they're made of is durable enough that we generally needn't worry. You're learning about the Hetzer way of life, are you? I may have a thing or two to share, but rather than talking your ear off, let me test your powers of deduction. I find answers much easier to recall later after if I arrive at them myself. Our Hetzer provide us with something that we use in medicines. Poultices and soap to drive away pests and sustain our fires. What is it? I need to see what it. Alas, not quite. Meat and organs can both be made into delicious fare, and our neighbors are often glad to trade with them. But they do, and they do have certain medicinal as well, but they are not fit for the purposes I mentioned in my question. Fit for medicines, soap, drive away pests and other evils, and sustain fire. And is added. Huh. Oh, okay. So it is dumb. It sounds like there's a story there, but that is indeed the correct answer. We've discovered myriad uses for grown-up chips over time, each a boon to our way of life. Where there is a need, our heads also provide. Interesting. Okay, I know their tail's not that bushy. You smell you smell of the grass and the wind, which is a good thing, I promise. You could nearly be mistaken for one of us. You even look the part. I have to wonder how Valcona is getting on. I assume he would be reluctant to get his hands dirty, but it seems his wish to understand us was sincere. Ah, there he is now. Apologies for my tardiness. I was tasked with grazing the Ronak, and ended up rather far afield. I found myself wandering hither and thither at my companion's inclination. To force us back to the trail seemed inappropriate. But how was your work? Have you anything to share? Yes, I feel the truth of this myself. While I was hesitant to leave my fate to the whims of the Hetzer rather than tread man-made paths, I arrived where I was meant to be all the same. is not the only one, though at times I lack the experience of knowing otherwise. My inability to conceive of how a decision might be right does not mean it is wrong. My parents had a duty to the Ronak as they did to me. So so I wonder if their leaving me behind was not so selfish of an act as I once believed. I have no way of knowing, of course, and regardless, this has no bearing on our present court concerns. We are here in service to the people of Tyrol, after all. Nevertheless, I thank you for helping me find deeper meaning in what we've done today. I will endeavor to remain curious, especially where the Hetso are concerned. Glad to hear that, Valkona. You're welcome among our herd anytime. Okay. There's probably a cutscene right after this. Or Kona has something to say. Okay. We will end this here, and we will come back next week. See you then.
Can you feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I'll run, I'll hide. Darkness all